Right, so on the previous video of the Norton and the 850 Triumph, Big Red as I call it, the 70 model lookalike, they're both running these CV carburetors, which is these things here. You can see the diaphragm in the top. That's the $70 carburetor from China. That's an original, probably a Kian I think, I'm not sure, but it's got a Harley Davidson on it, you know, and that's original equipment. So these copies, they're 70 bucks, and then you've got to buy the enriching cable, and I always buy the adjustable pilot jet here. When I buy these carburetors, I've got about $80 to $85 in the whole carb, I will take the pilot jet and the main jet, sorry, that's the main jet, the pilot jet, and in the kit, usually the carburetor is fitted with the one in the middle. There's usually one richer and one leaner. I always put the richer one in, of both the pilot and the main. And then I take the needle, and you can see where I take measurements of the needle in the middle and the end of the taper. You can see the needle itself, well you might be able to see it, but the taper starts about where my thumbnail is, about an inch and a bit long, a bit over an inch long, inch and an eighth long the taper is. And I'll stick the taper in the drill on that end, just to lock the drill at speed, and then with some paper in my hand, some say 180, 220, something like that, maybe even 400 grit, I'll just work the paper along the taper. And with my verniers, then I measure at the tip and in the middle, and I just work it along until I've got roughly somewhere between 10 and 15 thou reduction in that taper along the length of the taper. This then makes the carburetor, the bike start much more easily without any leanness and spitting back. After then, when you first get it going, you're going to adjust your pilot air here, and then instant throttle, you'll have a little bit of spit back possibly. That Norton in the previous video has probably 30 seconds where it'll give the odd spit back and then starts to respond fairly well. And the CVs are a little bit dopey early on, you know, as far as response, but once they're warmed up, they're spot on, they get moving. So, and the thing about a CV, it's almost as good as having electronic fuel injection, because the vacuum in the manifold automatically adjusts the amount of fuel by lifting and raising the slide. See the slide attached to the diaphragm, and as the vacuum reduces, the slide lifts and you get fairly well metered fuel. You're not opening the throttle on a normal carburetor and jamming a bunch of fuel in an engine that don't want it. So these things work quite well, and you can see here a Triumph single carb manifold that has been a plate made and modified. I did it this way so as not to get in the road of the bolts to mounting it, and that allows me then to run a fairly large carburetor on a custom bike or something. And most of the bikes I do this on, a 750 Norton would be fine, 850 it suits it perfectly, because a lot of these carburetors, they're 40 mil, but they're on the likes of 883s and 1200 Sportsters and stuff. Well, you get a big twin like an 850 Norton, you know, in the same sort of ballpark, and their you know, fuel needs and everything else. So, you know, it's a big engine, and my 850 Norton, where I put a Norton crank in it, no problem. I might even put one on an 850 triple I got. I just don't know, I've had single carbs on triples before and they work very well. You got them jetted right, you get very good mileage. I've had a triple I ran to Victoria and back from Brisbane, must have been 26 years ago. I went down there on this bike and I had the single 36 mil single amyl on there, and it got me over 50 miles a gallon, whereas a normal triple would be lucky to get 35. So, and with these CVs on your twins, you're going to be looking at close to, you know, another 10% increase in fuel economy for sure. And they do seem to make good power as well, you know. So I don't know why anybody would take one off a Harley, to be truthful, but they do. It's beyond me. But anyway, So yeah, it's all about, I just like to put the richest main, the richest pilot, and then get into the needle with a bit of paper and just lap it backwards and forwards while it's spinning in the drill, and get that, you know, vernier measured down to about anywhere from 10 to 15 thou less on, and that allows a bit more fuel to come through. It allows it to respond quicker and warm up quicker. So that's with CV carbs on old British bikes, and in particular Nortons, but that big Triumph, like I say, that's got a single CV on that, and it's running real well. I love it. So anyway, it can be done because I do it. Thanks for watching.